Well, good evening, everyone. Good evening, good evening. It's time for Phenomenal Leadership. I'm your friend, Bishop-elect Edwin Scott. Really excited about the opportunity, as always, to share with you. So, I want you to call a friend, to call a next door neighbor, let them know that we are live with another session of Phenomenal Leadership. So go ahead and reach out to your friends and so they can come on in on the broadcast tonight. Got something beautiful that we want to share with you, talk to you about tonight. Um, how to inspire positive change. How to inspire positive change. So you want to hang with me tonight for another session of Phenomenal Leadership. Phenomenal Leadership is a program designed to help you with develop the leader that is dormant on the inside of you. Some of you are doing it and you don't even know that you're doing it. And every day we lead ourselves either into good things or we lead ourselves into bad things. Success is a combination of right decisions or right move. What's happening for you? Well, let's get right into it. So we're seeing twice a week on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 9 o'clock. And then I do something else on Sunday and Saturday. Saturday morning at 8 o'clock, I do a session called Morning Glory Saturday. And then Sunday morning, I do an in-person service at Voice of Deliverance Temple called, of course, Morning Glory. Well, how do you inspire positive change? Because someone says the world is a world of duality, meaning where there's a right, there's a wrong. You can inspire positive change or you can inspire a negative change. Someone says, I'll show you a future by looking at your friends. I can determine what your tomorrow is going to look like by looking at what you do today. So, how do we inspire positive change? I think the journey can be simplified or grouped into two groups or three groups. It can be grouped into about three groups. Number one, in order to inspire change, you must create a climate for change. You must create a climate for change. Number two, you must engage and enable your environment. Engage them and enable them. See, you could desire change, but if you're not engaging and giving people the opportunity to do something about it, it's still not going to happen. And then a lot of times people get the ideas in their mind. They have these great ideas and great dreams, great aspirations, but there's never an implementation, and then there's never any plan for sustainability for long term. So let's go to number one. It is absolutely necessary. It is absolutely necessary to inspire change. Everywhere you look, every area, and I don't care which area you look at, whether you look inside of the church, outside of the church, in the private life or the corporate world, wherever you look, there is a need for change. There's a need for change. Now, you can give people money or you could force them or think that you're forcing them into some level of change. But a true leader doesn't force. A true leader inspires. And if the question is asked right now, A lot of people will have ideas. A lot of people will have a lot to say about identifying the problem, what needs to be done, or what is going on, what is missing. It's easy to identify that. And if you throw it out there, there'll be a lot of people throwing in things in the pot saying, oh, maybe this needs to be done, maybe that needs to be done, and you'll have a whole lot of things going on. You must create an environment for change. You must create an environment for growth. You ever notice, I know someone that have a little baby, and the other day I saw the baby, and they had on a really nice suit, but I thought the suit was a little small. But the parent loved the suit, so they put the babe in the suit. And the arms are coming out, the belly, the stomach is coming out, different parts are coming out of the suit because it is too small. And so there are some areas where we kind of choke growth. I had a friend, I had a guy friend, and he was married to this lady that liked to go out. She liked to go out. And she wanted to go out, but she had 2 little children. And she kept those little children as, this could have been like maybe 30, maybe even 40, no, more than 40 years ago, yeah. 40 years ago, so they're all grown up now. But she kept those children like little children, and they were over 11, and they were like little children. The boy couldn't walk. The girl was a little more outgoing. But at 11, he couldn't walk, and not because he wasn't old enough, but she always kept him in her hand, and it was just a sad story, real sad story. But she did not create an environment for growth because she wanted him to stay small so that it was easy to leave him at home because he wasn't going to go anywhere. But in order for you to create a positive change, you must create the environment. The environment. You know, if you don't create an environment where people can ask questions, where people can give their input, people won't give it. And so the environment must always be open to foster growth and to cause change to happen. Positive change is absolutely necessary. The job of the leader, a good leader, is always concerned about those around them and not themselves. I was reading this book, I can't remember which book it was, and it says, as a leader, you do not lead people where you are not prepared to lead your family. If you think that it is dangerous for your family, then you don't send other people there. And it made a whole lot of sense. It made a whole lot of sense to me. So when you are trying to inspire people for positive change, you must create the climate. You must create the atmosphere for that. To create the atmosphere for that, for change, it must become an urgency. Change must become an urgency. It must, everyone involved must see the urgency of it, the importance of it. And when everyone sees the urgency of it, then it just starts a little quicker. Because if everyone sits and says that window needs to open, someone else walks in, oh, that window needs to open. They sit down and wait again. There's no urgency. So there must be an urgency. Change must become an urgent thing. I was reading this textbook and it says, if you are serious, then you start now. Procrastination is a killer of change. Procrastination is a killer of change. So you must create an urgency. Then you must form a powerful coalition. A lot of people try to do it themselves. You have to connect. You have to connect. Because number one, you don't know everything. And so someone said to me one time, they said, if your vision is only big enough for you to carry it by yourself, it's either that you're aiming too small or your vision is too small. You must develop a powerful coalition. Now, the problem with this is this. Not everything that you feel or that you like, everyone will agree with. But it doesn't mean that their contribution is not going to be necessary. So you create a nice environment. To inspire change, you must be able to connect with people. You cannot influence or inspire anyone that you can't connect with. If you're in a relationship and you can't connect with the person, your relationship is not going to grow. So there must be a connection. Then you must know where you want to go or what do you want to do. And if you ask most 50% of the kids, what do you want to do when you grow up? I don't know. It'll be the answer. If you do not know where you want to go, you won't be going nowhere. You must know where you want to go. So when you know where you want to go, then you know what you need to get you where you need to go or what you don't need. So you must create a vision for change. A vision something must be in your mind. There's a story in the Bible where it talks about a potter, where God took Jeremiah down to the potter's house to see the potter making some things out of clay. And the potter made something, and when the potter looked at it, the potter broke it up because the potter didn't like it. But the Bible never said that Jeremiah didn't think it was nice. The Bible said that the person making it didn't like what it looked like until they made the decision to change it. It must always be something in your mind, what your end result is going to look like. And if you want to foster change, if you want to cause a positive change to come about, you must know what you're trying to do. So your vision must be clear in your mind. As much as the vision must be clear in your mind, it must also be achievable. Because sometimes we can really be thinking, daydreaming, just totally daydreaming. Some things that, a friend of mine always say this to me. They says that a teacher can always fail the student because a teacher can always put it above what they know the students have been taught. You ever hear the song, the higher you build your barrier, the taller I become? It's not necessarily work the same way because sometimes people can lift the vision so far out of your reach, just totally out of your reach. Say, for instance, right now, if I say tonight teaching is only for kings and queens. If you're not in charge of a country, then tonight's teaching is not for you. That eliminates a whole lot of you watching me tonight because I just placed it outside of pretty much who you are. So, a number one, when you're thinking about change and positive change, first thing must come to mind is, what do you want to do? What are you trying to accomplish? Then, secondly, you must think about, is what you're trying to accomplish, is it attainable? Can you really get to it? Is it really possible? And then a lot of time, people do not, leaders get frustrated because people are not connecting with, they have this big dream in their head, a big old dream in your head, and so people are not connecting with it, and so in the church world, we say, oh, they're the devil. You are the devil because you cannot see what I'm trying to bring across. And that's not always the case. And I'm telling you, 99 times it's not the case that people are the devil because they can't see the vision that we're trying to do. Sometimes we're not able to communicate. See, it's one thing to have a vision. Then it's another thing to be able to communicate the vision, be able to explain it to people. One time in church, we had a testimony service, and we had two testimonies right off the bat. One of the testimonies was about a woman that went to the ATM machine, and she got held up at the ATM machine. And she said that one of the young men wanted to shoot her. And so when she started her testimony, very early into it, I know the whole story because later on she told me the story. And so she was sharing about what happened. And she said about 2 words, and then she started crying. And then no one understood what she said. Somebody else came after her and testified. And they was very clear with what they said. And so the lady that got held up at the ATM machine was very offended because she said the people are biased. She said the people have respect of person because they responded to the person better than they responded to her that almost lost her life at the ATM machine. But she never explained what happened. She just broke down and cried. The other person explained what happened to them. And so people kind of gravitated to what they understood. I mean, they were sad because she was crying, and so the rest of the evening was trying to figure out, why was she crying? What happened? She never said. But she took it personal and said, y'all just ain't really nice people because I almost died and nobody seemed to care. But it was just a matter of understanding. And so as a leader, sometimes in order for people to connect with your vision, you must be able to explain your vision. Got to be able to communicate it to people. And then the environment must be, the climate must be created for change. And then you must be able to engage with people. And then you must be able to enable. So in order for me to become a part of the vision, I must be able to see myself in the vision. A lot of organizations, people can't see themselves in it. And if you cannot see yourself in it, more than likely, you're not going to be faithful to it. And so you must be able to help people to see themselves in it. And when they be able to see themselves in it, someone asked me one time, how do you start your day? I don't start my day with the most difficultest thing. I start my day with something that I can conquer. I was reading some pamphlets on exercise. And it said before you start you warm up. And I thought, why warm up? And then I understood that little still small voice behind it. Before you get into it, you got to warm up to it. And so if a lot of people were to warm up to things, they would be a whole lot better. And so I start my day warming up to my big challenges. I don't go after the big one, because if you do not create momentum, then momentum is a leader's greatest friend. Momentum helps you to get over things that ordinarily you can't get over. You ever had to push a car that was just still, stop. It was so hard to get it going. When you get it going, sometimes you could almost run behind it. Or a car that's going really slow. When it comes to a speed bump, it can't get over the speed bump because it's going too slow, it has no momentum. When you create momentum in your life, you're able to get over things that ordinarily you were not able to get over. Listen, there's a story told about this man that won the lottery. And he won the lottery, so he went to work the next day. And everyone that heard him, upset him. He had a bad boss that just used to make him mad. Man, he tell him all kind of things. He told him how it go. And he tell him, because I ain't coming back here no more. Because he figured, hey, I just won the lottery, so all I have now is money. I have money going in every different direction. When you have the momentum that you need to get over the little things, when he didn't have the money, whatever they told him, he sucked it up. But after he got the money, he said, man, I ain't got to take this. Y'all can do whatever y'all want to do with this job. So, number one, you create a climate for change. And then secondly, you create an enabling and an engaging environment. And then finally, it's one thing to create an environment where it's okay to change, where you engage them and enable them. All right? You shake their hands and you welcome aboard. Now, is there a plan for sustainability? Because I have this book, and it talks about it talks about Rewired for Success, and it says you can give somebody $1 million today, and by the end of the year they'll need another $1 million if their mind is not rewired for the change that has just happened in their life. And some people say this. They say a fool and their money don't last a long time. And my tablet is going dead. So I'm going to wrap up soon. What that means is a lot of people don't have a money problem. They have a wisdom problem. How to run the money. Not that you don't get it. You get it, but how do you run it? That's very important. So, we can create a positive change. But if you don't have a plan for sustainability, right? If you don't have a plan to implement that change, first you got to implement it. Then you got to figure out how to make it last. Just like the Christian journey. You got to find a way to get it into the minds of people, right? Get it into the hearts of people. And then you got to teach them how to survive. They say you can, if you feed a man, you give a man a fish. You have to give him a fish every day for the rest of his life. You teach him how to fish, then you teach him how to take care of himself for the rest of his life. So, you got to create a climate for change, an environment where it is okay to change. Don't be afraid of change. Then be able to connect and enable people to get up and say, hey, listen, man, I got to do this quickly. It's okay, I want to do this. People need to see you doing it so that they can know, hey, look, this person is modeling the way, right? And then, is there a plan for sustainability? My first, it was 10th grade. 10th grade, I went to high school, 10th grade. By the end of the week, the first week of the 10th grade, I got beaten for coming late. And for some reason, I guess keep on coming late. And so by the end of the week of the first week in 10th grade, just moved to senior school, I got beating. So I got beating that first week. By the time the beating left, I forgot about the beating, I went right back. So I had no plan to ensure I didn't get beaten anymore. Whatever I did to come late, I still used to come late. After about a month, I forgot about the beating, and so I went right back to my same old pattern because there was no plan for how do I not get beaten or how do I not come late. So you must put a plan in place for sustainability. As you now change positively, how do you stay positive? See, because if an athlete wins the gold medal, next year everybody gunning for that athlete. What do you do to stay on top? There must also be a plan for sustainability because you don't want to just be there for 1 week or 1 day and then you just go to the mines. So to inspire positive change in the people around you, you must create a climate for change, an environment where it's okay. You can do it. It's okay to change. It is doable. You can do this. Be able to touch people, be able to enable them to want to go ahead and do this. Finally, find a way to implement it. All the big thoughts that come to your mind, how do I get this done? How do I get this started? How do I make this work? And then, how do I keep it working? How do I keep it working? Because what worked for me in 2023 may need a little polishing in 2024. It's like a computer. You buy a computer today, and by next year this time it seems a little slower. And you'll be like, but I really do not much to it. But why is the computer slower? Because what it took to run the programs a year ago on the same computer, it takes a little bit more. And just like me and you, when I first used to climb my stairs, I used to just run up the stairs. Now I'm holding on the handrails going up the step. That's just how life is, all right? So to inspire positive change in those around you, because it must always be about the people. It must always be about people around you. Leaders are concerned about them that are around them and not necessarily themselves. Jesus said, I came to seek and to save that which is lost. I came to seek and to save that which is lost. I came to look for them, the ones that is lost. A lot wasn't lost, but he said, I came to the ones that was lost. Create a climate for change. Be enabling and be engaging. And then find a way to implement. Study your environment, study your room, understand your people, and then figure out how do I reach them. And then when I reach them, how do I keep them? Very important. Thank you so much for being a part of the broadcast tonight. This is Bishop Edlin Scott. I'm really excited about the opportunity to share with you. My battery is dying for some reason. Didn't charge my tablet. But thank you so much for being a part of the broadcast, and I love you, appreciate you. Have a wonderful, wonderful evening.